Hey to all my friends and relatives in four directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy, but with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
Signing up for $1 bus and train rides with the Transit Assistance Program, or TAP, is quick and easy. Do it straight from your computer or phone by uploading one of the pre-approved documents listed at metrotransit.org/TAP, along with a copy of your ID. We'll mail you a to-go card with a full year of discounted rides. For questions or translation help, call 612-373-3333. 612-373-3333.
Doherty Family College at the University of St. Thomas is your pathway to a bachelor's degree. Located in downtown Minneapolis, Doherty Family College offers an affordable education that includes free textbooks, a laptop, meals, career coaches, and a Metro Transit pass. As a full-time Doherty Family College student, you'll benefit from mentorship from St. Thomas faculty, along with paid internships and support from Minnesota's largest private college. Ready to turn your dreams into reality? Apply now at dfc.stthomas.edu. Doherty Family College, your journey to success starts here.
Now showing at MIA, artist Mary Sully was a visionary ahead of her time. Born on the Standing Rock Reservation, she worked in near obscurity between the 1920s and 1940s, creating intricate, vividly colored drawings that blend Dakota heritage with modern life. Now on display at the Minneapolis Institute of Art, experience the first solo exhibition featuring Mary Sully's work and see how her art challenges traditional ideas of Native and modern art. Only at MIA and always free to visit. Learn more at artsmia.org. The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Late tonight, a chance of rain with a low of 46. Then Tuesday, clearing skies with a high of 68. For more than 40 years, the Great Wall Restaurant has been serving up Szechuan and Mandarin favorites. The Great Wall is located just north of 50th in France on the Minneapolis-Edina City line. Check them out at greatwallrestaurant.us.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be Indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Couldn't cut, hit me cut again.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake. Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade, which means distant thunder. Hey, Kadagi to all my friends and relatives in four directions. You are listening to the Monday version of Native Roots Radio, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, we discuss local, national, Native news and events, and as you know, Chujunk, Native issues are human issues. And human issues are Native issues.
Yes, Dega, you are right. This portion of the show is supported by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Hey, a lot going on this week coming up, but also we have Dr. Stately on today. And Haley, what did you do this weekend?
What did I do this weekend?
Watch any good shows or anything?
Oh, gosh, I did watch some good shows. Yeah, well, I was trying to, I'm going to Seattle in a couple of weekends.
Wait a minute.
Haley gets some time off. No, over the weekend, I've never been to Seattle. Well, I've been to the airport, but I've never been to able to explore the area or anything. We talk about Indigenous representation matters all across the board in every room. And we've seen a lot more of this in films in the more recent years, right, Dega? We talk about Killers of the Flower Moon.
Prey.
Res Dogs is a TV series that just blew up, and North of North is a new one on Netflix too.
Prey, that movie about the prequel to that Schwarzenegger movie.
I haven't seen that one. I'll have to check it out.
Oh, what?
But like my first, well, we have a lot of years between the two of us. So when I think of like my first run into Native representation in film, I think back to like the Twilight Saga.
Oh.
And I was in, I think maybe 4th or 5th grade when the movies came out. The Twilight Saga was a whole book series written by Stephanie Myers. And we know Taylor Lautner played Jacob Black, which was one of the main characters in the saga. And Taylor Lautner is not Native. He doesn't have any Indigenous representation actually at all.
Wow.
But Taylor Lautner played Jacob Black, who in the films was a member of the Quileute tribe, which is a real tribe, and it's around the La Push area in Washington State.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So the Twilight Saga actually did cast a few true Native actors, which is good to hear. And I did a little bit of digging on here because I don't know. I always liked the Twilight Saga, and it was like being a kid and not knowing about, like fake representation and things like that. I just thought it was so cool because I had never seen people that had looked like me or my cousins in films before. So when they were talking about clans and, in the film, they were the Wolf Clan or whatever. But
wow.
Yeah. They even talked about like treaties and stuff in the film, but not in the way that would be like educational or anything, but more so for the entertainment of it. But Julia Jones was in the Twilight series, and I don't know if these Native actors came in the second movie or the third, but Julia Jones played Leah Clearwater, and Julia is a Native American descendant, specifically from the Choctaw and Chickasaw nations.
Cool.
Yes, and then Chaskey Spencer, who played Sam Yulee, is a member of the Lakota Sioux Nation in the Fort Peck and Sioux tribes, and he's also enrolled with Fort Peck and Sioux tribes of Montana through his mother. And then I know Kiowa Joseph Gordon was in the Twilight movies too, and he is best known for his role in Embry in the Twilight Saga, but he was also in he played Jim Cree in the AMC series Dark Winds Daga.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Great. Yeah. Excellent. Yeah.
But yeah, Graham Greene was in the Twilight Saga too. Graham's been in so many different Native films. And he appeared in season 1 of The Last of Us, which is like a new TV series that really came out and blew up in 2023.
Oh.
And they have their new season that just came out.
Exciting.
recently.
Exciting.
Yeah.
And then you're binging on that or watching that?
Yeah. Well, I watched the season 2, episode 2 this morning. That one was released last night. We can talk a little bit more about it later on in the show. I don't want to give
Okay.
away too much, but we got Dr. Stately back, and Dr. Stately's back from Ireland.
Oh, I bet you he's got his Irish skirt on and a little bra or
A bra.
Earn Go Bra,
Oh
Earn
yeah.
Go Bra. Yeah. We got Dr. Stately. We've missed dearly, President and Executive Officer of Native American Community Clinic here in the Twin Cities, Minneapolis. And welcome back. Before we get too far into your trip, we just got to give a shout out to the Pope passed away. And this was the first and only Pope that ever recognized boarding schools.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of stuff that he was one of the first to do, but yeah, sad.
Yeah.
I think it's remarkable that he passed away after seeing the vice president. So,
Yeah. Well, did he really see him? Because there's reports that he wouldn't see him, but I don't
I think
know.
there was I think he ended up still seeing him, but like a brief visit with him, even after but anyway, I'm kind of joking there, but I'd say like if the vice president reaches out and wants to visit with you, you might want to think twice about that.
Well, especially now after that, right? Jeez. Jeez.
Really?
It's sad though. He died the day after Easter. So sad.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, at least he made it
But he
through.
was, yeah, but he was ill for a while, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And 88's a good run. I think if I could make 88, even if I'm wheeling around in a wheelchair and then being a burden on my family, I'd still go for it.
Oh my God. Something tells me that your wife is going to be wheeling you around in a wheelchair. She'll be like,
Yeah.
get one
Well,
that's motorized. I'm not pushing you around.
well, we talk about, unplugging and plugging. She wants to be, unplugged.
Yeah.
And I say, keep me plugged in. I want to be a burden.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's good. It's good you have goals.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, what kind of swag did you get me from Ireland?
I didn't really get a whole lot. You know why? Because I first of all, I packed a whole bunch and I was expecting colder weather than it was actually there. And so I had like all these things that I actually didn't need. Like I brought some boots in case it was raining and muddy. It didn't rain at all, hardly at all. Impact of climate change. And it was like really warm there the first week I was there. It was like in the 60s, high 50s, low 60s. A couple of days I think it got up almost to 70. It was really beautiful. And everybody there kept saying like, oh, we never have this weather. There's never this kind of weather. It's never this warm. We never have 7 or 8 days a row in sunshine, much less sunshine and warm. So with no rain, and it was like remarkable. But it was probably easily the most beautiful place I've been in a really long time. It's just magical.
Wow. Very cool. And
Yeah.
were you able to see that not statue, but they have those feathers for people that gave Ireland money during the
For the Choctaw people, it was honored. Choctaw people who gave money, who gave some support to them during the famine. Yeah.
Yeah.
That I didn't see that because it was way down in the southern tip of the island, way down in Cork, and we were way up in the northern part of Ireland for the first week, in a town called Armagh, and then we spent the second week down in on the southwestern part of the island in an area they call County Clare, which is also where the burn is. Look at the old, volcanic. It's just volcanic and rocky there, but it's really beautiful.
Wow, very cool. Well, hey, we're here with Dr. Stately, and he was good at avoiding the question that he did not get me swag, but it's good to see him again.
Oh, I had no room in my luggage for it. It was too large. I couldn't bring it back.
Oh, it's too large what you got me. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be looking in my mailbox here for UPS to be bringing me stuff. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and we're with Dr. Stately, President and Executive Officer of Native American Community Clinic, and it's great to see you, and we'll be right back.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune into Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
I love my Toyotas from Rudy Luther Toyota for one simple reason. I can depend on them. You know they keep you safe, and they're incredibly reliable, fuel-efficient, comfortable, and stylish. The Consumer Reports Best of 2025 edition has 10 Toyotas as best buys in affordability. Toyotas are some of Consumer Reports' highest-rated certified pre-owned vehicles, and Rudy Luther Toyota's service department is the one place I take my Sienna for all of its maintenance needs. Toyotas are fantastic vehicles because they're fantastic vehicles. See for yourself at Rudy Luther Toyota off of 394 in Golden Valley.
Support for Native Roots Radio comes from the Walker Art Center, an art space that's more than the spoon and cherry. Galleries celebrate contemporary visual art, including Indigenous artists like Edgar Heap of Birds, Cheyenne and Arapaho Nation, and Jim Demini, Ojibwe. Additionally, films screen in the cinema, and performances are shown on stage. Free every Thursday night and free every day for members and citizens of tribal nations. Learn more at walkerart.org. Again, that's walkerart.org.
Summer is fast approaching. How will your teens spend their days? Reconnecting Our Roots is a unique opportunity for Native American teenagers from the Twin Cities area. Students will engage in cultural activities and learn about Native histories rooted through Minnesota Makoche in a welcoming environment. The summer session runs July 14th through the 18th at the Minnesota History Center, and a stipend is available for those who attend each day. Learn more and apply now at mnhs.org/NEI.
Hi, this is Governor Walls. Thank you for listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Native American Community Development Institute, or NACD, in Minneapolis.
Hey, we are here with Dr. Stately, our friend, president, and executive officer at Native American Community Clinic here in the Twin Cities, Minneapolis. And he's just come back from his trip from Ireland, and it was great to hear and great that you made it back safe. Hey, while you were gone, Native American Community Clinic got some funding along with other organizations, and congratulations. And that's pretty awesome that that's come through the pipe.
Yeah, I'm not clear. We got a few, funding, but yes, thank you. I think the biggest news that I have is that we actually closed on our capital project on Thursday last week. So we're officially raised the funds to break ground. So
wow,
in
that's
May,
amazing.
which is really exciting. So that happened when I was in Ireland, and I was super anxious about it being away, and I kept
Right.
getting reassurance that we're going to be on task and on target. So there's a couple of last minute things I had to do. Well, one of the most craziest thing was like as part of the closing process, I had to transfer funds from our account into another account, and I had to do it through a wire. And then we had to be done by 3:30 because that's the last time you can do it at 3:30 in the afternoon on and it's to send a wire to one of our investor banks. And I was at a pub at that point in time with my sister and my niece, and we were having fish and chips, and we were waiting to listen to a band in this little pub outside of Doolin, Ireland. And I had a really sketchy signal on my phone, but I had enough to get a text, and I tried to go online and answer the wire, but I couldn't get a signal, a very clear signal. So to go outside the pub, walk to the top of the hill, which is overlooked like the western part of the Atlantic, the Atlantic seaboard, and I'm standing at the top of this mountain, or big huge hill, and it's windy out, and it's the sun is setting, and I'm trying to get online to approve the transfer of the of the money, and I was it's a little bit, it's a little bit of a tight schedule there, but we got it working.
Yeah, that's hilarious. That reminds me of Standing Rock when they were blocking all the signals going out of Standing Rock, and then if you picked up one leg and then went to the corner of our RV and way up in the corner, you could get it. That's crazy.
I remember that.
Yeah, or you had to go up on Facebook mountain or hill or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. There was one place I think that everybody would go and they could get a signal, they get a post or something.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's cool.
Crazy. Hey,
but it was
so
super exciting that we accomplished that, and you should have gotten. I think you and Haley would have gotten an invitation from NAC to attend our groundbreaking celebration ceremony this Friday. So yeah, it's one of the things we're looking forward to. It's apparently going to be the event of the year. So.
Wow. Well, I hope that we were talking about that, and I hope the blow up colon's going to be there too, so I can get a selfie inside that.
I don't know.
I don't think the blow up colon's going to be there, but you know what? We can make a private event just for you. You and that colon can do your thing, and
right.
Whatever happens in Vegas or in the colon can stay there. And we don't have
or in the colon, yeah. Wow, that's cool. I guess. Yeah. Let's go ahead, Haley.
Oh no,
That's great. I didn't, yeah, definitely looking forward to the groundbreaking ceremony this Friday. No, we're going to be there for sure. And then you guys also were awarded funding through NACD, was this fiscal sponsor for NAC and a few other organizations like Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center, Indigenous Protectors Movement. What is that funding going to be used for?
So the funding that came from NACD as a subaward to NAC was money that was directed to us from, I think, Department of Health and Human Services, DHS, Minnesota Department of Health and Human Services. So that money is supporting some of the work that we are doing in the community around preventing opiate use disorder, and specifically in connecting young Native men between the ages of 14, 15 through 24 to traditional practices. Like that money is going to support like this work we're doing specifically with young Indigenous men in the Twin Cities. I think we're planning to have a young warriors camp in the summer. We've been doing these camps for Indigenous men and women for the last 2 years. We just had our winter camp for the men's work that we do to support them their ongoing recovery and also their reconnection to their culture and their ceremonies and their traditional practices. And we just had that one wrap up at the end of March, like right before I went to Ireland, and that was a really beautiful experience. We actually sent a small group, a small subset group of those young men off to Cheyenne River to do a buffalo hunt. They killed a buffalo, and they have worked over the last several weeks to process the buffalo. I had to go out and buy like 2 freezers to store all the buffalo meat in my home because we didn't have space for all the buffalo meat. And then so they'll do things, and then we'll have a women's camp here coming up in May, I think middle of May, something like that. And then those women will start to work on tanning the buffalo hide from that buffalo kill. They'll probably do a significant amount of the work there in that 3-day camp. And then the men will finish the hide in their next summer camp, which will be in mid-June to late June. Wow. And then if there's more work to be done on that hide or other things that are related to the buffalo, then the young people's camp will do some of that work. So it's all focused on reconnecting to land, to ceremonial ceremonies, to medicines, and to those kinds of things. So it's really intended to support the building of confidence and the ability to sort of practice giving people the space and the things that they need also to like to do those things. One of the things we've learned over the last 3 or 4 years or 5 years or so of doing our traditional healing program is that a lot of people in the Twin Cities, especially in urban places, they don't have maybe they didn't grow up around grandparents or great grandparents that taught them those practices. Maybe they didn't grow up near or able to go back home to do things like go to ceremonies or to powwows and those kinds of things. They don't have the resources to be able to make ceremonial objects and ceremonial regalia that you would wear or use for ceremony. So one of the things we've done is over the last couple of years is we built the process of being able to give younger people and young adults this knowledge and and access to these things, but also learn the songs, how to make a drum, how to make a shield, how to make moccasins, how to make the regalia. One of the things we talked about when we decided to do this buffalo hunt was the men went out and they did a traditional hunt with some people from Cheyenne River. They took a couple of them took pictures of them eating, taking the bite out of the buffalo heart or the buffalo liver. One of the things that we got from that buffalo hunt is I have the buffalo heart in my freezer, and when we finally dig the big hole in the ground in front of our new building, which we're going to do did a 2-part ceremony where our staff all got together last month, and we laid down prayers and put up prayers for our new building and for a successful build, but also this is our gift, our love song to the community. And so we put all of our love and our prayers into that bundle. That bundle will be buried with the heart of the buffalo at the very at the center of where the building is being built, before we lay the foundation for the building. And that's our offer, our ceremonial offer to the land, to ask the land for permission to build this, but also to support us and sustain us as we embark on this new journey to serve our community and strengthen their ability to kind of stand up and to live good, healthy lives. So it's all connected. All the programming we do with young people and with folks in the community somehow feeds back into sustaining also the organization, strengthening the work that we do and recognizing the reciprocity. We are relatives to each other. So our role and our job here is to take good care of each other, and to everything that we do is we do with the eye on what's good for the next 7 generations. So we put all of our investments in that.
Wow. Hey, those words, Dr. Stately, are really good medicine. I really appreciate that. Wow, that's just awesome. Hey, we're here with Dr. Stately, and we're going to take a quick break, and this is Native Roots Radio.
Hi, this is Frank Brown of Minuteman Press Uptown with a question for our listeners. How important are business values to you? When you need high-quality digital print, it matters who you work with. You see, Minuteman Uptown is unique. We're one of the only union print shops in Minnesota providing our team with living wages and benefits. We believe in second chances for justice-impacted individuals who want to contribute to the community, and we are active in local issues. We've been in the streets standing up for racial, social, and economic justice. At Minuteman Uptown, our mission is to connect all communities through technology-driven print solutions. An example of that mission is when I moved Minuteman Uptown to North Minneapolis. We're invested in this local community, and we help small businesses and local organizations throughout the Twin Cities reach their audiences. Reach out to Minuteman Uptown and partner with a printer that shares your values. Call us today at 612-870-0777 or visit us at mpuptown.com. That's mpuptown.com.
Greg Bakken here. I've told you about the out-of-the-world roast beef sandwiches at Maverick's Real Roast Beef, but I haven't told you about their Philly steak sandwiches, turkey bacon avocado sandwich, BLT, crispy chicken, fish sandwiches, brisket, or pulled pork. Okay, you get the idea. They make a lot of delicious food to the same standard as their famous roast beef sandwiches, and now I'm starving. I'm going to go to Maverick's Real Roast Beef off Lexington and Roseville, and you need to go too. Check out their menu at mavericksbeef.com.
This is Chad, owner of AM 950. I want to tell you about a better, more environmentally friendly way to care for your lawn with Natural Lawn. Natural Lawn has been treating Minnesota lawns for more than 20 years with organic-based natural products that feed the soil without unnecessary chemicals. That means an envy-worthy, healthier lawn that's safer for your family and your furry friends. Natural Lawn has no contracts and is 100% satisfaction guaranteed. So let Natural Lawn handle your lawn care so you can enjoy your lawn. More at naturalawn.com.
Dr. Stefano Sinacropi, an orthopedic spine surgeon and wellness evangelist, hosting the brand new Recharging the Human Battery show on AM 950 radio. My co-host Mandy Dickey and I will delve into various health topics ranging from medicine to nutrition to exercise, emerging technologies, and yes, some way out there stuff. Will provide a balanced view of today's landscape, helping listeners navigate its complexities and hoping to change the way you think about your health. Recharging the Human Battery airs Saturdays at 11 a.m.
When was the last time you had your roof inspected for extreme weather and hail damage? This is Chad, owner of AM 950, to talk about the exterior construction company I trust, Snap Construction. If you've noticed new roofing projects in your neighborhood, your home was likely hit by hail last summer and experienced damage. Snap Construction is helping homeowners like you, and they're the roofing specialists I trust. They are the most well-reviewed contractor in the Twin Cities and have a ton of positive customer reviews from homeowners just like you. Even better, Snap Construction's installations are backed by a lifetime warranty, so you know you're dealing with a qualified roofing expert. You want to work with a company that will be here for a long time after the work is done. Snap Construction has handled thousands of claims and will help you through the process. Do yourself a favor and get a free roofing inspection so you have the facts and peace of mind you deserve. Call Snap Construction today at 612-333-SNAP. That's 612-333-SNAP. Or visit snapconstruction.com.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Late tonight, a chance of rain with a low of 46. Then Tuesday, clearing skies with a high of 68. For more than 40 years, the Great Wall Restaurant has been serving up Szechuan and Mandarin favorites. The Great Wall is located just north of 50th in France on the Minneapolis-Edina City line. Check them out at greatwallrestaurant.us.
AM 950 KTN up, St. Louis Park, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Hi, this is Representative Sharice Davids from Kansas. I'm Ho Chunk, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Native American Community Clinic on Franklin Avenue in Minneapolis, honoring health and tradition.
Hey, we are here with Dr. Stately and Haley Cherry, and Dr. Stately is the president and executive officer of Native American Community Clinic here in the Twin Cities, Minneapolis. And I know you got to get going here soon, but we want to just applaud you, welcome you back, and applaud all the work that Native American Community Clinic has done and is going to be doing in the future. It's exciting news.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It's good to be back on, Minnesota soil, that's for sure. It was lovely to be in Ireland, and I met such amazing people there, just amazingly beautiful, kind, loving, generous, spirited people there. It was like such a really beautiful experience. A good number of them also asked me about, what do you think about that president of yours? I was like, oh, please, let's not talk about they don't like him over there very much either. So,
Well, I think the feeling's mutual all over the country, all over the world, except for Russia.
All over the world. Yeah, exactly. So, but it was a beautiful experience. Easily one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. I have breathtaking pictures of the cliffs of Moher and the beautiful North Atlantic Ocean is so incredibly breathtaking. It was just beautiful. And I saw so many stars. Every single night I would go out and take a walk with the people I was staying with. I would go out and take a walk at 9 o'clock, and it would be and I'd be up on the top of this mountain. I could just see stars as far as I could possibly look.
Wow.
And I was like, I haven't seen stars like that since I was maybe a kid living in South Dakota in boarding school. It just doesn't get dark enough here for us to do that. So really remarkable. I think on the second to last day I was there, I saw a shooting star. I looked up just in time to see it, watch it burn out. So that's a good opportunity to say a prayer and make my little Irish wish.
Yeah. Jeez, no leprechauns though, huh? You didn't see
no leprechauns, no. In fact, actually, I would really have wished I could have seen a leprechaun. What was interesting though is we were staying in this Airbnb in outside Doolin, in Doolin, and in County Clare, and it started actually when we were first in the northern part, closer to Armagh. Just on the other side of the border of Northern Ireland. And we started noticing little things happening in the house, something going missing here, or, those kinds of things, just, and so then, and then when we got to the house down in Doolin, somebody lost their brush.
Ooh, little people.
Yeah, so we were we talked about that at the woman that we were staying with, whose family was from that region. Her name is Rita Davern. She has a documentary that she made called Stories I Didn't Know, which was about her journey of understanding how her ancestors had come from, who had immigrated. Her great grandparents had immigrated from Ireland to Minnesota. Her great grandfather had bought Pike Island, which is part of which is actually Bedote, where the Minnesota and Dakota Mississippi rivers meet, which is kind of like the creation place for Dakota people. She had met my sister on a Bedote tour, and she learned about that as being like one of the most sacred places for Dakota people, and also the birthing island that Dakota women, one of the many birthing islands that Dakota women would go to have their children, their babies. So she embarked on this journey to learn more about her family and her family's history around Pike Island. And she talked with the documentary is about her having conversations with her relatives, including her siblings, about like, well, what can we do to sort of like repair this relationship, this harm? She said, her narrative was basically like, we were colonized in Ireland, and we had our land taken away from us, and all these roots and all these privileges taken away from us, our rights to our land and our religion, our language, and our culture. And then we immigrated over here, and we did the same thing to the Dakota people. So her movie is a really beautiful movie. It's a documentary that you can find on TPT or PBS. And it's already seen, I think, over a couple million views in the last 4 or 5 years. But that we went back to her family's home in the Burin, which is in one of the oldest and most sacred places in Ireland, on the southwestern coast of the island. And it was such a beautiful and magical place. But we talked about this. We talked about like, the connections between, Dakota and Ojibwe people. We have these stories about little people that will do things like take something from you and hide it from you, especially if it's something that you put too much ownership into or too much investment in. It's kind of like teaching us a lesson to be like more generous and less tied to physical things, right? And so we had these conversations like, well, why would somebody take my brush?
Yeah.
But there were all these little things that were happening the entire time we were there. And it was really cool, really very magical. But I didn't actually see one, so that was disappointing.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. Haley, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh yeah, no, I was just so taken in by that story. What was the name of the person with the documentary?
Rita Davern.
Rita Davern?
Rita Davern, Davern. She was part of the O'Davern family, which is one of the oldest families in the part of the territory of Ireland. In fact, she took us home to her place in her Burin, where their grandparents or great grandparents are from, and we went on this amazing. We went to visit one of her relatives' sheep farm. They have a sheep herding farm, and they also have a fort that they're responsible for taking care of, which is part of their family's fort. And it was like some of the excavations that have been done in and around that territory. They work with the Ireland, I guess it would be the equivalent of like our National Museum here, to sort of like carbon date things and how old things are within that territory, and the elements that are part of that original fort that her family was kind of the governors of in that space are 1600 BC, before
Wow.
before Christ, or before colonization, however you want to think about that. But it was just remarkable, just an amazing, and there was too much and so much to sort of learn and experience, and even just the 10 days we were there in that one specific territory. So like, I'm already planning to go back in a year or two.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what's interesting is that so we have a boat down on the Mississippi, and of course Bedote, which is you talked about. The Street Davern goes right to our marina. I mean,
it goes by your house, doesn't it? similar, really
Yeah,
close to your house.
yeah, but down to the river.
There's a street called that.
Yeah, Davern.
Davern Street, yeah.
Yeah,
Named after her family. But I think one of the things is, so that relationship has been a really beautiful relationship, and one of the really cool things was we went to like these schools and other areas, and we made the news because my niece Jillian and Ramona and we spoke to a couple of these schools. We visited a school specifically at the foothills of I think it's called Slieve Gullion, which is one of the oldest. So that part of Ireland that Armagh is in, and in and around Armagh is called the Ring of Gullion, and it's there was a I think an astronomical or geological aberration that happened where there was a volcano underneath Ireland back in the, I guess, Ice Age, and then the volcano, instead of erupting outward, it imploded, and when it imploded, it went down into the earth, and then it caused these big huge mountains to come up in this round shaped area in that part of the country. Incredibly beautiful mountainous area that's just remarkably gorgeous and just has the most unusual rock formations and also soil and the kinds of things that grow there. Just a remarkably beautiful, deeply spiritual place. It's like when you're in the space, you can just feel the power. It's so incredibly beautiful. So,
Wow, we need to talk more about this. But Dr. Staley, we've held you on 4 minutes long here, and we always appreciate your
it's okay.
time.
I'm good until 6 o'clock.
Oh, hey.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
this is you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Surprise.
yeah.
Happy birthday. You get me for the full hour.
Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah, it's been a while since we did that. That's like back to the
Yes.
old days.
Yeah. But it was like, I just like, I would say that, one of the things that was really cool about the whole thing is it reminded me of like how important it is for us. Like as Indigenous people, we have always traveled everywhere. We didn't stay in one place. This idea that we would just stay in one area. We also didn't have the same ideas about our relationship to land. Like, colonizers, their relationship to land is like, I own this. This is mine. I'm going to stay here forever, and I'm going to do everything I can to protect that because it's, it's about. And whereas, our relationship to land as Indigenous people is like, it's deeply spiritual, deeply ceremonial. It's deeply, and one of the things I think that was really remarkable about the trip is how much it reminded me about, as Indigenous people, we've always traveled all the four corners of the earth. We went to all these other places where we found relatives and we learned something from them, and we brought those things back home. And that's one of the reasons I think why we have a lot of similarities in the way that we sort of like, the way we, the rituals that we have in which we practice ceremony, the ways in which we, the relationships we have with the land and the animals and the spirits of the place. It's because we shared stories and we shared knowledge and wisdom and practices. And,
yeah. We're going to take a quick break, and I just got to remind everyone listening to Dr. Stately is that, we all come from tribes. Some of us, we're the last ones colonized, us Indigenous people, but before the religious fanatics came in and changed everything, we all been kinship to the earth and Father Sky. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio. I'm here with Dr. Stately and Haley Cherry, and we'll be right back.
Signing up for $1 bus and train rides with the Transit Assistance Program, or TAP, is quick and easy. Do it straight from your computer or phone by uploading one of the pre-approved documents listed at metrotransit.org/TAP, along with a copy of your ID. We'll mail you a to-go card with a full year of discounted rides. For questions or translation help, call 612-373-3333. 612-373-3333.
Everyone wants to maximize their dollar. If you're looking for a new vehicle, the only place to go is Rudy Luther Toyota. Consumer Reports Best of 2025 edition has the most reliable vehicles as Toyotas. The Toyota Corolla, RAV4, and RAV4 Prime top the list of the most reliable cars. And Toyotas are fuel efficient, meaning less money at the pumps. Consumer Reports Best of gas mileage ranking has the Prius Camry, Corolla Cross Hybrid, RAV4 Hybrid, and the Highlander Hybrid top of their classes. Reliability and fuel efficiency, you'll find them both at Rudy Luther Toyota, 5 miles west of Minneapolis on 394.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Doherty Family College at the University of St. Thomas is your pathway to a bachelor's degree. Located in downtown Minneapolis, Doherty Family College offers an affordable education that includes free textbooks, a laptop, meals, career coaches, and a Metro Transit pass. As a full-time Doherty Family College student, you'll benefit from mentorship from St. Thomas faculty, along with paid internships and support from Minnesota's largest private college. Ready to turn your dreams into reality? Apply now at dfc.stthomas.edu. Doherty Family College, your journey to success starts here.
Oh, this is Dallas Goldtooth, and you're listening to the Native Roots Radio. Hoka, hicha, wecha.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
In this portion of the show, we like to bring awareness to our Minnesota wolf population. Say no to the hunts. How?
Oh! Hey, we're here with Dr. Stately, President and Executive Officer of Native American Community Clinic, along with producer and co-host Haley Cherry. We're just talking about the spiritual ride that Dr. Stately had in Ireland, and it's I can feel it. It's kind of changed you a little bit too.
Yeah, it has. I think it's really given me a different perspective on some things. So one of the really cool things was we went and visited with this friend of Rita's who lives in the house that her great-grandparents, her great-grandmother, her great-grandfather lived in the Burin. And we went to visit them and spend some time talking with them in their home. And then we went to dinner that same evening. We went out to dinner, came back and spent a little bit more time talking with them into the wee hours of the night. But one of the things they told us about was that, you know, the house is built on this part of the Burin where there's one of the oldest, deepest, longest underground caves goes all the way back to from the mountain underneath their land where their house is. And that as when we left their home and we went to go to the restaurant where we're going to have dinner at, remarkable restaurant, by the way, it's amazing, right on the ocean. And we were driving and they stopped and they said, "Oh, we got to show you Gullum's, I think it's called Pollum's Cave or Pollum's Hole." And it's this big, huge opening on their land that is this big, huge underground cave that's thousands of years old and goes underneath their land and their home. And we were walking up to that thing, and they were telling us that this is where J.R.R. Tolkien had gotten his idea for Gollum and Gollum's Cave is from Pollum's Cave. He had visited that territory and
Precious.
Yeah, I was like, oh, it's precious. And they were telling me that they had gone down into that cave a number of times, and it's so deep and it's so dark in there that you have to tell somebody if you're going to go into the cave so that they know to go looking for you if you don't come home within like a day or two. You have to wear a headlamp and you have to have multiple batteries for the headlamp because it's so dark in there you can't see anything. And there have been people that have gotten lost in there, right? And so I was like, oh, spooky. But
Yeah.
but
Ooh,
later,
ooh.
but yes. And so later that night, after we have dinner, we go back to their house and we're like talking, just kind of visiting and having conversation and some after dinner, what do they call them? I don't know what drink they were calling, but I had the virgin drink of the nature, but it was amazing. And Irish coffee, right? So Irish coffee has a little bit of liqueur in it. I had the coffee without the liqueur in it, just a
Yeah.
little bit of cinnamon and cream. But we were talking and we started talking about ghost stories. And they started telling us stories about the ghosts that are in their houses. And
Yeah.
Archie's this older man who's really good friends with Rita, and his spouse is Martin, who's also a psychologist like me. And so him and I hit it off, and we're having conversations about that. And he was like, "Well, I didn't believe in the ghost thing." He goes, "I just thought it was a bunch of malarkey." And he's from New York; he's not an Irishman. But
Mhm.
he goes, then he started telling us about the things that actually happened in the house that made him a believer in ghosts and a believer that their house is haunted. Now they have a relationship with these haunted things, and they've established these are the conditions in which you're allowed to be here and where you can't be allowed here and those kinds of things. So but they're telling us these stories, and I was thinking, okay, yeah, people like going into the cave and disappearing. That's a legit.
Yeah. Jeez.
That happened to me. You can be as sure as hell I'd be haunting your land.
Well, it's funny. We had a ceremony here for Wendy's ear a few years ago, and the person that was doing it goes, there's an old lady that lives here. And
yeah.
and her cat turned and looked looked as if the lady had walked up the stairs. It was like, whoa, this is crazy.
Yeah. It's the
I know-
craziest thing. We're having this conversation in their living room, and they have they have a brand new black, wood burning stove in the living room. And then behind the stove is this big, huge, like, what used to be a fireplace is built, it's walled in now, right? And they rebuilt up the floor and stuff like that. But it was the kind of house the house was like over 1,600 years old. Original rocks that were built in the house way back then. And in that fireplace, it used to be one of those fireplaces where you could walk into, and it would have a witch's cauldron in it, and like big swings where you could swing the pot back and forth, that kind of thing. And he goes, and we had to exchange that when we bought the property. He goes, and they had to build up a floor and a more modern floor and those kinds of things. So we're having these conversations about the ghosts in the house, and they have these two little dogs. I think they're pugs. And there's this little black one, so adorable, darling little thing. He's old as dirt, though. He's probably as old as the rocks that were there. He starts looking at the fireplace and at the little black wood burning stove, and he's looking at it and he's barking, "Rah, rah, rah." And he'd walk away and he'd come back, "Rah." And I was like, yeah, he sees something. Like I was like, I think we're gonna finish our coffee and go now. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Our animals can see the spirits. I noticed you said, I wrote it down, wee hours. That sounds very Irish. Wee hours.
Oh yeah, in the wee hours. Everything is wee, little, And they corrected me because one time I was talking to this guy, Virgil, who is this amazing musician, just like self-taught musician. He was with us. Did a few things. We had a night with him and his wife and a few other people at our first house, and he taught us how to do their little drums. Their drums are called bordans or something like that, and they're kind of similar to our drums, but they're open in the back, and you put your hand inside the drum and you hold the drum on your hand and your leg and then your arm, and you put your hand inside, and then you use your drumstick differently. You don't beat on it. You're like kind of like stroke it. And you stroke it in different parts of the thing. And when you put your hand in different places on the drum, because it's a really thin, I think it's calf, it's sheepskin, I think. Yeah, sheepskin. They have a lot of sheep there. Wherever you place your hand, it changes the tone of the drum based on where you put your hand.
Cool.
And so, because it changes the vibration, right? So we had been talking about some of these things, and at one point in time, we're like, We have some medicines we want to give you. So I gave them like sweetgrass, sage, and cedar. I gave them like Archie had some allergies, so I gave him some of the misting spray that you can use. I said, you might want to, cleanse your house and do some, do some offering, give them some food, give those spirits some food, share some of the food that you have with them. Those are our practices that we do. So we feed those spirits so they don't become restless. And then we ran off in the middle of the night and went home.
It was the wee hours.
It was the wee hours. Yes, wee hours. They make fun of me because I would say wee little, and the guy says, Virgo says, you don't have to say wee little. It's the same thing. Wee and little, same thing. I said, but you say it. That's where I got it from. Wee little. And he goes, oh yeah, but I'm Irish. That's how we say it.
So cool. Hey, great to see you, Dr. Stately. We'll see you Friday,
You as well.
and I'll have bells on. And congratulations to all the great work, and you deserve.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I could not have gotten it achieved with a lot of support from the community, and especially organizations like yours who have just championed our project for the last couple of years. So thank you so much, Chimigwich.
Big Peeny Geeky. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio. I'll see you tomorrow. We're still here. We are the 7th generation.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native